Let's talk about the filth that's starting to come out in the early days of the Diddy trial. This, of course, is P. Diddy. Surprise, surprise, he's a creep. Surprise, surprise, he's done horrible.
And we got word from insiders at the White House that Donald Trump was seriously considering
A shocking family betrayal has left Sean Diddy Combs utterly destitute and abandoned. Once the towering mogul of hip-hop with a fortune measured in the hundreds of millions of dollars, his empire now looks more like a hollowed-out shell. And the culprits? Not federal prosecutors, not the brands that fled his scandals, but his own blood. The children who once called him the best dad in the entire world. The narrative is almost Shakespearean. A father consumed by his legal battles, while his daughters quietly prepared their escape route. According to whispers making the rounds in industry circles, Jesse and Delilah Combs didn't just leave for Europe to dodge paparazzi. They allegedly carried with them the keys to accounts their father thought untouchable. Diddy has been left staring at balances that have suddenly evaporated. The mogul's once bottomless pockets now frighteningly shallow.
It's a Connie thinking like, this is my domain. They were just being bratty, I think.
You're a twin.
I am.
Do you think twins are more bratty because it's kind of a cute little thing that they're twins and they look alike and blah, blah, blah?
I think it's more of a sign of just bad parenting.
Reports claim the twins moved swiftly, slipping through the cracks of his crumbling financial empire. We're told they were tipped off to a hidden Swiss account, the kind of account that exists in shadows. The kind used by power players to keep creditors, ex-partners, and even federal investigators guessing. An insider insists the twins learned of the stash from someone in Diddy's inner circle who finally broke ranks, passing on the codes and details their father thought would never surface. Within hours, the money was gone. Imagine the scene: a mogul still fighting for bail hearings in New York, unaware that his daughters were wiring away the very reserves he counted on for survival. By the time he realized what had happened, Jesse and Delilah were already across the Atlantic, posting carefully curated glimpses of European skylines and luxury haunts, while the gossip world pieced together what had really gone down. It wasn't just a getaway, it was a spending spree. From Paris boutiques to discreet yacht brokers in Monaco, their fingerprints were reportedly all over transactions that reek of extravagance. People close to the situation whisper about a private island deal in the Mediterranean, allegedly funded from the very pool of money once earmarked for settlement negotiations with Diddy's accusers. If true, that's not just a betrayal, it's an act of open rebellion, turning his secret stash into their ticket out of the scandal-stained Combs legacy. And the irony couldn't be thicker: the same funds he fought to hide from the public eye now flaunted in their attempts to build a life beyond his shadow. Are Jesse and Delilah victims of a father's sins, pushed to take drastic steps for survival, or are they ruthless players themselves, cashing out before the walls close in?
We're told before the ride they were told 3 times to put their phones away, but the twins defied the rules.
Why do you have to put down a phone on a roller coaster?
Because if you ride it and you drop it, it could hit someone.
What we know is that the girls haven't exactly been hiding. From flashy roller coaster run-ins caught on camera at the Orange County Fair, to public appearances in carefully matched gingham outfits at court, they've shown the world they're unafraid of attention, even while their father sits behind bars. One moment they're in tears at a courthouse, shaken by closing arguments that could decide their father's freedom, and the next they're striding hand in hand with their sister, dressed to project unity. But behind those images, insiders claim, was a plot already in motion, with Jesse and Delilah funneling funds and plotting a European escape. The timing seems deliberate. The court appearances give the impression of daughters standing by their father. The reality, sources say, was a quiet siphoning of his lifeline. The twins' recent spending has already fueled speculation of a full-blown luxury scandal. Eyewitnesses in Paris swear they saw the sisters leaving Avenue Montaigne with armfuls of designer goods. A Milan source claims they were negotiating for a custom car delivery, the kind usually reserved for royals and oligarchs. And then there's that persistent island rumor, a stretch of Mediterranean coastline suddenly linked to offshore buyers with names eerily similar to shell companies tied back to the Combs fortune. Could it all be coincidence? Maybe. But the whispers line up with hard truths. Diddy's net worth, once pegged at $400 million, has plummeted. The math doesn't lie. Somebody has been draining the pool.
They once worked together a long time ago. They're not friends now. They don't like each other. And yeah, 50 has taken every shot, especially when Diddy has been down.
Meanwhile, the once mighty patriarch reportedly spirals. Those close to the locked-down mogul describe him as frantic, begging legal teams not just to fight the charges, but to trace the missing money. Yet his other children, once paraded as the symbols of his blended family empire, are said to be fractured too. Justin's name surfaces in lawsuits of his own. Christian faces allegations from yacht trips gone wrong, and suddenly the Combs legacy looks less like a dynasty and more like a demolition site. Diddy has always portrayed himself as the mastermind, the one in control, the bad boy for life who could outmaneuver any storm. Now he sits powerless, watching as even the empire's heirs carve away at what little remains. And the scandal lands with a thud because it turns family loyalty inside out. On Father's Day, Jesse and Delilah called him the best dad in the entire world, words that now read like an epitaph on a relationship that collapsed under the weight of secrets and greed. "We love you so, so much, words can't even explain," they wrote on Instagram, standing shoulder to shoulder with siblings in a portrait meant to radiate unity. But actions have a way of rewriting history faster than captions ever could. Today, those same daughters are accused of burning through funds faster than their father can file motions. Their actions dragging what's left of the Combs legacy into an even darker chapter. Every new sighting of the twins in Europe fuels the intrigue, matching pink sweatsuits on a California fairground, then designer silhouettes photographed through tinted glass in Rome. Their carefree image masks a deeper tension, whether they've liberated themselves from a father's tainted fortune, or simply grabbed the loot while the vault door was wide open. For onlookers, the drama is irresistible. For Diddy, it is devastating, and in the shadows, whispers grow louder about where this rebellion really leads, and whether the twins have truly escaped the gravitational pull of their father's downfall, or if they've only set the stage for an even greater reckoning still to come.
Are you surprised by the evidence that's already coming out in the criminal trial?
No, I'm not surprised. I experienced some of those things. Witness violence.
As Diddy wrestles with the reality of his fortune slipping through his fingers, those closest to him describe a man unraveling in silence. No longer the titan pacing stages and boardrooms, he is said to wander the corridors of his Los Angeles mansion, stripped of energy and weighed down by betrayal. Once a fortress of noise and celebration, the estate has grown hauntingly still. We're told the mogul has become desperate for reconciliation, calling out to the very children who abandoned him, only to be met with silence. His empire may have crumbled in courtrooms and contracts, but what cuts deepest is the emotional vacuum left by his family's retreat. Insiders whisper that he replaced the downfall in his mind, convinced that his own choices planted the seeds of rebellion. Friends say he looks in the mirror and sees a shell of himself, haunted not just by legal documents but by the faces of the twins he raised. He once stood as the invincible architect of hip-hop, the man who controlled charts and celebratory after-parties. Now he is the architect of his own loneliness. Those who have spoken with him describe his words as fractured, drifting between rage at the betrayal and aching sorrow for what has been lost. It's the cruelest irony, a man who built an image on family and loyalty, broken by the very bonds he held closest.
Unfortunately, we're all going to take a disgusting trip to his seedy, awful world. You know, the man has no class. He has no kindness in his dark, dark heart. And he's depraved. That's my opinion. This is a depraved, disgusting individual about whom I wish to hear nothing after this trial is done.
Meanwhile, thousands of miles away, Jesse and Delilah are painting an entirely different picture. The twins' escape to Europe has blossomed into a carousel of extravagance. From Monaco's marinas glittering with super yachts, to Paris soirees where whispers suggest they mingle with European elites. Their movements signal a lifestyle more opulent than ever. Social media only fans the flames. Cryptic captions hint at freedom and new beginnings, their smiles framed by luxury backdrops that make clear they are not mourning their father's fall. Instead, they are relishing their own rise. Whether it's calculated defiance or a genuine bid for independence, their decision to flaunt this new life sends one message loud and clear. The bond with their father is no longer unbreakable. Their refusal to respond to his pleas has only deepened the rift. We've seen their posts swing between playful independence and sharp-edged symbolism, photos of lavish tables set for two, notes about never looking back, snapshots of jet cabins where bubbly flutes glitter in the reflection. Insiders in the European fashion circuit claim the twins are leveraging their family name to enter exclusive circles once closed to outsiders. Designers reportedly send them pieces in the hope of a cameo on their feeds, while whispers suggest they've even been invited to sit front row at shows reserved for aristocrats and heiresses. The question that lingers, is this newfound independence a shield? Or is it a power play to cement themselves as more than just Diddy's daughters?
I can't wait. I can't wait for everybody to find out what's really been going on in the background.
What has drawn even more attention are the cryptic messages Jesse and Delilah scatter across their social media. While most of their posts highlight luxury, travel, and freedom, sharp-eyed followers have noticed captions that carry an unsettling weight. References to truth coming soon, no more lies, and the vault finally opening have stirred speculation that the twins are preparing to air secrets that could devastate their father's legacy. Fans dissect every emoji, every late-night post, wondering if the girls are teasing revelations or simply playing into the frenzy that already surrounds them. Industry insiders suggest there may be more at play than simple rebellion. Several point to the timing of these cryptic notes, which often appear just after new lawsuits or damaging headlines hit Diddy's name. The implication is hard to ignore. Are the twins quietly aligning their moves with the broader narrative of his downfall, positioning themselves as both survivors and potential whistleblowers? If so, the fallout could stretch far beyond family drama, threatening to crack open the carefully sealed vault of Diddy's business empire. The idea of a tell-all book has surfaced repeatedly in gossip circles, with publishing executives rumored to be circling the twins like sharks. A memoir penned by the daughters of hip-hop's most controversial mogul would not only sell millions but could reshape the public understanding of his empire. Whispers of negotiations have already spread through New York and London literary agencies, where speculative offers climb into 7 figures. If even half of the rumors prove accurate, such a project could become one of the most explosive releases in entertainment history. Others argue the cryptic post might not be about a book at all, but a more calculated form of leverage. In an era when public image is as valuable as money, the twins may be holding their father's secrets as a kind of insurance. The hints and teases could serve as veiled warnings, a reminder that if he pushes too hard for reconciliation, or if his legal team attempts to drag them into his trials, they have the ability to unleash details that could permanently destroy him. The uncertainty is what makes the speculation so electrifying. No one knows how far they're willing to go.
They've been afraid of coming forward. They've been afraid of what he could potentially do to them within the industry, what he could do to them professionally, maybe even personally. And so yes, it's been a dark secret they've held on to for a very, very long time.
The deeper question is whether these messages represent empowerment or vengeance. Are Jesse and Delilah signaling that they will finally free themselves by exposing the darkness behind their childhood? Or are they simply manipulating the attention economy, using their father's collapse as a springboard into celebrity independence? Whatever the answer, the effect is undeniable. Each cryptic phrase becomes a headline, each image a spark for conspiracy theories, and every day the tension builds over what secret might be revealed and how much more destruction the twins could unleash on their father's already shattered world. The psychological chasm between father and daughters could not be wider. Those close to Diddy say he still clings to the memory of their Father's Day post calling him the best dad in the entire world. He replays the words like an old hit, though the lyrics no longer match the reality. That sentimental facade has been shattered by headlines of drained accounts and unchecked spending sprees. And yet, even in his darkest moments, he is said to defend them. A longtime associate revealed that he often tells visitors, "They're still my babies," even as he faces the stark truth that those babies may have been the ones who cut him off at the knees.
So, Terrence Howard appeared on the PBD podcast with Patrick McDavid, and the episode just premiered on April 4th. Definitely making the rounds because in this episode, Terrence Howard describes an interaction with Diddy where he says that he believes that Diddy was trying to have sex with him. Let's take a look.
Adding to the sting is the silence from his other children. Justin, Christian, Quincy, each locked in their own controversies or carefully retreating from the public glare, have not offered the lifeline of unity he once counted on. The once proud image of a blended family standing strong has fractured into scattered pieces. Lawsuits swirl around some of his sons, new allegations drop like clockwork, and suddenly the narrative isn't one of a tight-knit dynasty but of a family scattering to protect itself from a collapsing empire. The mogul who once orchestrated the spotlight now watches helplessly as his heirs decide how much of their lives and his secrets they'll put on display. For the twins, the European chapter only grows bolder. Reports from Saint-Tropez describe them arriving at private villas in convoys more often associated with royalty. An industry veteran claims to have seen their names attached to shell companies, purchasing art in Geneva auctions. Another insists they've been quietly meeting with investors, perhaps setting the stage to build their own empire entirely separate from their father's tarnished brand. If true, it's a ruthless move, but one that signals they are not content to simply spend his money. They may be planning to build something of their own on its ashes.
Dishonest, violent, horrible. A promiscuous swinger who lied to and cheated on multiple partners. Incredibly, that's how Sean Diddy Combs' own lawyers described the billionaire music mogul, currently facing serious trafficking charges in a New York court.
The consequences for Diddy are more than financial. This is the unraveling of identity. His entire career was built on being the head of an unstoppable family business machine, a patriarchal figure who commanded loyalty. Now, stripped of fortune and abandoned by blood, he faces a crisis far larger than sentencing or settlements. Friends whisper that he talks to empty rooms, rehashing past glories, asking aloud where he went wrong. The mogul who once moved presidents and pop stars now struggles to hold on to the one thing money was supposed to guarantee: loyalty at home. And yet, even as he paces the halls of his lonely mansion, the storm outside continues to grow. Lawsuits pile up, prosecutors circle, former allies desert him, and now his daughters flaunt the kind of independence that suggests they've cut ties permanently. Could this be the ultimate betrayal? Not just a theft of money, but of legacy. Or are we witnessing the start of a seismic shift where the Combs children carve out their own dynasty, fueled by the fortune they seize?
I'm sorry, I'm just really, I'm in this moment right now. This is crazy. Sorry. People don't really know how much what it does to you when something that you love is taken from you and thrown away like it don't even matter, and then they move on with their lives and you're stuck. You're stuck during those years. You're still stuck 21 years later.
The most chilling possibility is still ahead. What if Jesse and Delilah decide money isn't enough? What if, in a bid for full independence, they turn to the one weapon more devastating than drained accounts: the truth about their father's empire? Imagine the fallout if the twins chose to reveal what they saw behind closed doors, the shadows cast by decades of whispered allegations. Would the empire collapse once and for all, or would it ignite a scandal so explosive it drags the entire industry down with it? So here we are, watching a family empire collapse from within, a mogul begging for the loyalty that money couldn't buy, and twins rewriting their own destinies on the runways and yachts of Europe. The question we're left with is simple but staggering. Is this just the beginning of Diddy's downfall, and will his daughters be the ones to finish what prosecutors couldn't? Let us know what you think in the comments: betrayal, rebellion, or survival. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, in this family saga, the next twist might be the most shocking of all.